The holidays are upon us, and so it's time to get out and make some special dinners for the whole family who is all gathered here. And so today we're going to make a nice duck breast, pan-seared with a red wine reduction sauce. And that's going to go with our scalloped potatoes, which I made earlier, which you'll see a recipe for, and we're going to serve that with some special haricots verts, which was a French green bean. So I have here beautiful duck from Maple Leaf Farms. This is a beautiful duck breast, farm raised. And the nice thing about this, you'll see sometimes you get duck and the fat layer is just way too thick. And this is just a nice, there's enough there to give us some flavor, but not so much that this is going to be swimming in grease. And so our first step in getting this ready for the pan is you want to take the underside, the non-fat side, and we just want to score it across. And this is going to allow the fat to render out of the duck. And then in the meantime, we're going to preheat our pan, get it very, very good and hot, and we're going to start sauteing. Like I said, we're going to serve this dish today with especially haricots verts. We're going to show you a special recipe for that. The plate's going to be beautiful. Duck is special for me in the holidays because I have fond memories of when I was younger going to Paris at Christmas time, and we would get to go to Tour d'Argent, which is a famous restaurant overlooking Notre Dame, and they serve a famous duck there, and they actually give you a number for the duck that you ate, which I still have. So in a future recipe will show you that more traditional recipe. But for today, we're going to do this red wine reduction. I need to score the fat side, and it's important that you have a good sharp knife. So hopefully you have a sharpening steel. You should keep your knives good and sharp. This will take the edge and make it even sharper than normal. And what we want to do is cut just the fat. You don't want to not cut all the way through to the meat. So you get a very light touch, but a very, very sharp knife, and it will do that for us. And we want to do a nice crosshatch as tight as you can. And then you want to season each piece with salt and pepper on both sides. And then bring it over to our pan. Over here at our fry pan, I put a nice metal copper fry pan out here. I'm not going to put any fat in this. You want to preheat it to medium-high, and how you know it's hot is what you want to do is you want to flick just a little bit of water in there, and it should dance. And that's, when the meat hits that, it's the same thing. It's not going to stick to the pan at all. So we're going to take our duck breasts, and we're going to start skin side down. Put them into our pan. Okay, we're going to cook those for about 8 minutes on the fat side. Let it render some of its fat, get it good and brown. And then we're going to turn it over and cook it for 4 minutes on the other side, and then it should be done. So our duck's been cooking for about 8 minutes, and I'm going to flip it over, and we want to do 4 minutes on the side. See how the nice, beautiful golden brown the skin is there? It's probably nice and crispy now. So 4 minutes is probably all we need. And then we're going to put it onto a hot plate and keep it warm while we make our red wine reduction. Beautiful metal alloy that you can put in the oven, and it stays warm for a long time. And I'm going to go ahead and put my duck breast in here. And put this in the oven to stay warm with my potatoes. And then we're going to take the fat that's in the pan. We want all but about a tablespoon. So we can take about half of that out. So we've drained our fat, and so what we want to do now is deglaze the pan with some red wine. And we're going to use a Cotes De Rhone from Famille Pirin. It's from the Rhone Valley, and it's a good full-bodied red wine. add back about a cup of red wine. And you want to reduce that by about half. So that should not take long because the pan is good and hot. And you want to scrape up the bits in there. Make sure you get all of that flavor in the sauce. So run your metal spatula or something around the bottom. You'll feel some bits on the bottom. And I'm going to try and lift those. So you can see our sauce is the wine's reduced by about a half. It's got a nice rolling boil. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a demi-glace to this. If you don't, you can find this in your grocery store if you have a hard time finding it. You also could brown a roux and do it that way. This is going to add some flavor and also give a little thickness to the sauce. And we want to incorporate that, and again, we want to reduce this by half further, so it gets a little more concentrated and a little thicker. And that'll probably take another few minutes for it to get to that point. And we're going to go ahead right now and put some rosemary in. So I have some fresh sprigs of rosemary. I'm going to let it soak into the sauce. I'm also going to have one shallot that's been minced. I'm going to add that to my sauce now. Cook that in along with the rosemary as it continues to condense. Okay, to finish our sauce, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. And let that melt into it. That's going to add to the richness of the sauce and also give it some thickness so it coats nicely with the duck breast. And that's it. You can go ahead and shut the stove on that. See how it's got a nice thick consistency to it. And we're going to let that sit there for a minute. And now we're going to go over to our duck. And to serve this, what we're going to do is take our green beans. We're going to add a fresh squeeze of lemon over the green beans. And give that a stir. And then we're going to take our duck breast. And slice it in about 1/4-inch slices. And that's done just right. Beautiful. A nice crispy skin. It's going to taste fantastic. And we're going to arrange our duck over the sauce. And then we're going to drizzle just a little bit more sauce on top of that. I've cut my potatoes into slices, and I'm going to take a piece of the potato, put it on the plate with the duck, give us some of the green beans, and some of the almonds on top. To finish, we're going to have a wine here. This is a Chateau. This is from Chateau de Beaucastel, Cotes De Beaucastel. It's also from Famille Perron, And this family actually owns a Chateau de Beaucastel in France, and in the neighboring vineyard, they produce this wine, and it's pretty special. It's a mix of 30% Grenache, 30% Mourvedre, and 20% Syrah, 20% Cinsault, and those are all blended together. Everything is fermented in concrete, except for the Syrah, which they put in wooden vats at the same time. And then everything is brought together into a large foudre and aged for another 6 months. And so we're going to have this. It's very similar area to what we used in the sauce. So the flavor profiles will be similar, but this is just that much nicer a bottle. And whenever I order something, whenever I open something fresh, I usually use my aerator at first to help open it up. And so this is a nice glass in our varietal specific Riedel glassware. And dessert is the chocolate mousse, which we made earlier tonight, which we'll serve after dinner, and that recipe is to follow. Happy holidays, everyone. Please like us and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Bon appetit.